This video is about how to solve equations intuitively. Remember, equations have equal sign, and whatever's on one side of the scale needs to be the same as whatever's on the other side of the scale. This scale, for example, is not equal. In this picture, you'll notice that both sides of the equation are equal because the scale is balanced. When trying to solve for a variable, there are many algorithms and different formulas and rules you can follow, but in grade 7, let's use our intuition. What do we already know about math to help us solve these equations? Let's have a look at a few examples together. In this equation, we have 4 plus w equals 26. That means on one side of the scale, we have 4 plus a number, we're not quite sure of its value, and on the other side of the scale, we know that it has to equal 26. So I asked myself, 4 plus what number is going to give me that 26? I'm thinking 4 plus 20, that's close, that's 24, but I know my answer has to be 22. So in this case, W equals 22. In this next equation, again, I know it's an equation because I see the equal sign right here. On one side of the equation, I have P minus 40, and on the other side of the equation, I have 3 plus 7. Well, I know that I can combine these two numbers together to equal 10. So I know that in order for my equation to be balanced, to be equal, both sides need to be equal to 10. So then I think to myself, what number, if I took away 40, would give me 10? There's only one right answer. In this case, the number has to be 50 because 50 minus 40 is 10. So in this case, P, or our variable, is equal to 50. Now I have something that looks a little bit different. I have a number and a letter smushed together. So I have 5F equals 40. We know that when we have a number and a letter smushed together, the operation is multiplication. The reason that we don't use a multiplication sign is because it actually looks like a variable. It looks like the letter X. So this is 5 times what number is going to be equal to 40. I've been studying my math facts and I know them very well, so I know that 5 times 8 equals 40. So in this case, F has to be equal to 8. Let's get a little bit more complicated here. What happens if we have 5F plus 8 equals 48? Again, it's important to think of the scale and remember that on one side of the scale we have 48, so on the other side of the scale we also need to have 48. We also need to remember that 5F means 5 times a number, and then we have to add another 8 to it. What I often do is take my finger and cover up the 5F. So I think, okay, what number plus 8 has to give me 48? Well, I know that the answer has to be 40. Then I uncover what I still have left. 5 times a number has to equal 40. So again, in this case, we know that F still has to equal 8 because 5 times 8 gives me 40. Plus another 8 will equal 48. This means that both sides of the equation are now equal. We haven't talked about division yet. When you have something that looks like a fraction, the operation that's happening is division. In this case, we know it's an equation because we have our equal sign, and on one side of the equation we have 3. So that means the other side of the equation also needs to be equal to 3. So we have 12 divided by r, or 12 divided by a number, has to equal 3. Again, I've been studying my math facts, and I know that 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So in this case, R is equal to 4. You also might see a division problem written like this, where it looks like a little slash. It means the exact same thing. All that means is 12 divided by a number equals 3. Again, I know my math facts really well. I know that R has to equal to 4. In the last example here, we know that we can use the traditional division sign, and obviously that still means division. So we have 12 divided by a number equals 3. Again, that number, because I know my facts really well, has to equal 4. So, when looking at equations and trying to solve for the variable, I want you to think, what answer makes sense? Use your intuition, use what you already know from math to help you out. Once you get into the older grades and the equations become more complicated, then you will learn how to use the different algorithms to solve for the unknown. I hope this helps.